and be and doobie 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 doo. When we finally checked out of our hotel home, you kissed me hard so everyone would know, and drove your car to San Francisco, and I wanted to go away with you. And I know some people have to go to work on the weekdays. I hope their banks get big. There's traffic lanes, 401ks, marriage and Miller Lights. But there's so much more in this big old world, so much more to see. So just keep a hold of the reins now, baby, because right now we are free to do, to be, to doobie 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 doo.
Daisy O'Connor, Doobie Doo. And, Lee says in the chat there, the song's like Sunshine, it never gets old. And, it got me thinking, it's been quite a couple of weeks now that I haven't really switched up. I will switch songs on artists at any given time for any given reason. And there's a reason why I do that. There's always a method to my madness. And, some of these artists, I mean, they make this top 30 their home, and they're here for a while. And so I like to switch the songs up on them because it keeps it, it keeps the top 30 a little bit different. You're hearing something a little bit different than the same song week after week after week. And as I've always said, the statistics show that 99% of you that vote, you already have it in your head, the artist you are voting for. All right, and 99% of you have it in your head, the artist and or artist, because you can vote for more than one, but you already have it in your head. I could put any song next to them, and you're going to vote for them because you have it in your head, the artist you're going to vote for. I could put someone up and a song they don't even sing next to them, and you probably wouldn't even notice. You'd be like, oh, wow, I haven't heard that one before, but that's who I'm voting for. You know what I'm saying? So I do like to switch it up on folks, just to kind of keep it a little fresh for those that like to live in the top 30. And, but hey, fair is fair. You get voted in there week after week after week. Fair is fair. But I think this week, this next poll that's going up, I can't think of any I really changed. We did add everybody that Kaz debuted last week. So there's five or so newbies, new contenders in the poll to be voted for. So that's going to make it a little tougher. So yeah, but I don't think, but I think after this week, I'm gonna start switching up a bunch of songs on people. All right, I think we're gonna do a 180, and I'm gonna switch up a lot of songs on these artists, but we'll see what happens. Where are we at, Jose? Number 7 this week. You gotta love the dub. It's Tammany Dove with Transformation.
Concrete, peer through walls of glass, talk about your fortunes and watch the hours pass. Voices in my head tell me not to stare. Close my eyes in theory, but the truth is everywhere. sensation, ruled by perspiration. Stress the best, forget the rest. There's room for adaptation, 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 adaptation. Population at its finest, can it be? Only time will tell of this catastrophe. Nothing here is sacred, madness is the word. Just need some medication, this place is so absurd, so absurd.
Deputy Dove, transformation number 7 this week. You gotta love the Dove. All right, they're corrected me here in the show chat. All right, so earlier, what I was trying, you can vote for more than one artist, and it is unlimited voting. Right? Really, the only rule is they got to be legit votes. I mean, you got to go through the process. You got to vote yourself. And we don't accept votes from bots or apps or anything of the sort. We do have security parameters on the poll itself. All right, so I mean, if you think you're going to come in with a bot or an app, I'm telling you, they get pulled. All right, and I will say this: there have been times where votes have been flagged and pulled. And I have found they shouldn't have been. I do honestly every week when I compile the results, I go in and looked at and personally look at all the flagged votes that got pulled to make the final determination whether it was actually a bot or an app or just a mistake on the poll site. And I can tell you, there's been a couple of times where I've added votes back on in fairness because I feel they were unfairly flagged. I think it was by mistake. And I've added votes back in. But I can tell you every week, believe it or not, every single week, there are those that try to bypass the hard work of voting personally or manually, and they get flagged, and they get pulled. And I'll tell you this, it is what it is. I would never, ever, ever reveal of which camp this is happening in. First and foremost, because it's not the artist's fault. All right, it's people do what people do. All right, and we all sometimes think we can get one by on the system, but I gotta tell you, you're wasting your time. They get flagged like clockwork. I'm actually pretty impressed with the security on this particular site. That's why it's been hard for me I've been talking about switching over to a different poll site, but that's one of the features I really, really like about this site is the way their security set up and the way I can go and personally look at votes that are flagged. But, whatever. It is what it is. But I'll tell you, you're wasting your time. Let's see here. Where are we at? Number 6 this week. These guys are all over the place here the last week or two. They got a lot of exciting stuff happening. They got a brand new album about to be released. I don't think they've officially released it yet. I know that something happened. Something happened over there. And, there was some that got leaked. I'm not sure if there's been an official release yet. Number 6 this week, Swamp Box with 3.
things when I go to sleep at night. She picks out clothes for me to wear in the morning. I look stupid cause she never turns on the light. She watches me while I play with all my toys. She wants to play but she's way too afraid to ask. I wanna be with her inside my closet. I wanna be with her but I'm too afraid to ask. No one will ever believe that she really likes being with me. Good things happen in threes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Swamp Box 3, number 6 this week. A lot of numbers in that sentence. They were another one I had a hard time with this week because my first instinct was to switch the song up on them for this week's poll. Coming up right after this broadcast, it will be posted within moments after this broadcast. But they're one that I really need to switch up the song, and there's a couple of reasons why I decided not to this week. One is because that particular song, Swamp Box, with that particular song, have been steadily climbing up this top 30 week after week. And I didn't want it to be a situation of, well, it's every week it's getting closer and closer. Now you're going to switch it. I didn't want it to be that. My thought was to switch it up this week coming up with one of their new leaked ones, but then I decided against that because I wasn't quite sure if they wanted one of those tracks that got leaked into the poll before the official release. And but you know what? If that's what they want, it can be done. Not for this week. I've made an executive final decision that this week I'm leaving it alone. Next week when I create the poll, I'm doing a lot of switching up. All right, there's going to be a lot of different songs next to these artists next week. And Swamp Box, that song is old too. Well, hey, I only got so much from you, Paul. And Swamp Box, if it's first and foremost, you artists out there, if you're an artist and you're listening, this is the way. I randomly pick a song to put next to your name. Off your albums, just randomly. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. I randomly do it, unless if an artist is always free to contact us and say, "Hey, I would like this particular song on the top 30 poll." It's done. That very next week, it's done. And to be honest with you, I'd prefer it that way because then I know what they want heard the most. But unless the artist contacts one of us here at Music